Greetings, it's Will from StormTheCastle.com, and we are in the Sense of Wonder Library. Take a walk with me. I have a video to show you, and this video is the latest one in my series of the Stained Glass Night project. And I am, in this video, I've got about half of the painting done. It's coming out really amazing. So I will show you where it stands. We'll do a little video looking at where it stands. And then I will show you a little bit of the techniques that I used to achieve these wonderful results of this project. So it's getting close to being done. Woohoo! So let's take a look. This is where it currently stands. This is where I'm at. Almost half the painting is done. Maybe half the painting is done, which includes, his lower torso and his cloak and the sword. His foot and leg and the, part of the tree and the border all the way around. And there's a lot of shading that I did on the various glass pieces because that's how they are in the actual window. It isn't just plain pieces of glass that I painted designs on. I aged it too, and I used brown paint to do some aging, which gave it a really beautiful look. This window is looking very medieval period. I'm happy with that. It's coming along really good. About half the painting is done, roughly. And I wanted to say that, for a project like this, I'm no expert with stained glass or with painting. I had made this piece using the same glass so I could experiment with various glass paints and paint pens and various tools to try to achieve the best I could do. And it really paid off. I'm really glad I did this because I eliminated various types of paints and various painting techniques that just weren't working for me. So I could, learn on this, I guess you could say it's like an apprentice or a trainer's piece of glass. I was curious as to whether I could scrape away the paint and whatnot. And I got a good feeling for what I was doing. Glad I did this. It's worth the extra effort to make a little practice piece of stained glass. Maybe I'll mount this too somewhere. It looks kind of silly, but that's okay. So let's take a look. I'll show you some of the techniques, and we'll take one last look. Now, the window is 100 years old, so it has some aging in it. I used a fine texture sponge and brown glass paint to give it that beautiful aging look. And I also did it, but I don't show it in this video, but I also did this with black paint on some of the parts of the knight to give it contour. See, there you go, on his knee. You can see it on his knee, a little bit on his foot. But I actually did quite a bit of that. And it really makes a really significant difference in how the window is turning out. I'm glad I did that. So it isn't just a matter of painting shapes on the glass. It's a matter of giving it, I don't know how you would call it, a fullness and a look. So, and I used paint pen to do some of this work like this. And, really a high quality paint pen. And and while the paint was still wet, I could use a Q-tip to, I guess you could say, twirl out those circles. And, the circles aren't perfect, and they're not perfect on the original window. They have a beautiful unevenness to them, which just adds to the charm, and I don't know, the look of it. It's just quite wonderful. This is not a mechanical process. It's got a beautiful aging to it, and you can see how the brown now all of a sudden just makes all the difference in the world on that. It isn't just, paint on glass. It's got a feeling to it. And then I used pick tools once the paint was dried to just scrape out those little ornaments, S's. I guess you could call them S's. So that's that. I'll show you a little bit. This is about, just the painting is about, so far, 20 hours of work. And it's very focused work. You get exhausted. I had to break it up into 2 different days of roughly 10 hours a day. But, I didn't want to get to the point where I was fatigued and had eye fatigue and hand fatigue, and I would the quality would be reduced, so I would quit and work on other things. So there you go. There it's at. I'm really pleased with this. It's coming out wonderful. Hopefully I can finish it in another 20 hours of work. And I'm really excited for our pilgrim here, our knight on his pilgrimage. That is the stained glass knight. Look at that. The grass is just wonderful. The little, I don't know if those are mushrooms or what. Little flowers, trees. I love the tree on the left. There's more coming. Thanks for watching.